Hey everybody, it's Gus with Egypt Adventures Travel. They still have some of the posters up from the mummy parade. I'm at the National Museum of Egyptian Civilization where the mummy parade ended just a few weeks ago. Today is the very first day where the mummies are on display in the museum. I'm here to check out this brand new museum and show you what it's like. The museum is a little bit hard to get to, so I would recommend using your driver or taking an Uber or a taxi. But we're here outside the ticket office ready to purchase our ticket before entering the museum grounds and heading inside. The ticket for the museum costs £200. On your way to the entrance, you get to walk through the remains of the Golden Parade, where they brought all of the royal mummies from the Old Egyptian Museum in downtown Cairo to the National Museum of Egyptian Civilization. It's a really cool entryway into this awesome museum. Quick plug to make sure you have lots of sunscreen because there is some outdoor walking to experience this museum and the grounds. I made sure to put on sunscreen before and after visiting. I'm ready to head inside and check out the National Museum of Egyptian Civilization. Once you go through security, you will have a chance to use the restroom, and if you have a bag, you will need to drop it off at the bag and coat check. Inside, after security, check out this bird's eye view of the museum and the grounds. They have a coat room at the museum, which is right behind me. Good place to store your bag. It's definitely hot enough where I don't need a coat today. Once you've dropped off your coat and bag, used the restroom, and gone through security, you head through this tunnel-like enclosure that's actually a walkway that connects the main part of the museum to the reception and lobby area. Excuse my finger making a cameo on this clip, but here is the main hall of the museum. This space is really big with ample room in between the artifacts for people to spread out and admire Egypt's history from prehistoric times until modern times. So many cool objects on display here. I'm inside the main hall of the museum, and this place is fascinating. They have displays going over Egyptian history from prehistoric all the way up to modern times, and it's displayed in a way that's easy to follow, easy to understand. Such a breath of fresh air for a museum in Egypt. Here are just a few examples of some of the excellently curated displays at this museum. These are a bunch of objects that depict bakers making different types of bread. These are different architectural tools that were used in ancient Egypt. Things like measuring tools and building models. And then here we have an absolutely gorgeous wooden sarcophagus and a really beautiful and complete set of jewelry from pharaonic times. When you are done looking at the objects up above, you'll go down into this hall where the royal mummies are displayed. There's a cool visual depiction of the Valley of the Kings where the mummies were found, some of the mummies themselves, along with some of the objects that were found with the mummies in the Valley of the Kings. I can't wait to go down and explore. And of course, Coptic and Islamic artifacts like this Islamic mural made out of tile are in the museum too. When you finish and get ready to head down to the mummy room, be careful and watch your step. You go down this staircase and head into the open atrium that you looked at from up above. You can stop here and take some time to admire the display of the Valley of the Kings or the mummies themselves and the objects that were found with them. And when you're ready, you head on through the opening into the Royal Mummy Hall. Pictures and videos aren't allowed inside, so I'll just have to show you the entrance. Let's go on in. Now that we've seen the 22 royal mummies on display, it's time to head back up to the Grand Hall of the museum. Look at all of the people here to take in this historic day at the National Museum of Egyptian Civilization. What an amazing space. Now that we've finished inside the mummy room downstairs and the Great Hall upstairs, we're gonna quickly check out the outside of the museum. There is a lake and there's an archaeological site to see. Aside from the coat and bag check, other options that they give you at the museum are to sit and have a coffee or a pastry at a cafeteria. There's also a gift shop where they sell replicas of some of the things made inside the museum, and there's very clean and well-equipped bathrooms too. It's so cool to see like news broadcasts happening at the museum today for the grand opening of the Mummy Exhibit Hall. I even saw a lot of visitors at the museum being interviewed about what they thought. When they began constructing the museum, they found this Islamic tannery and dye center on the grounds, which they excavated and now is on display. This is the only Islamic era dye center that they've found so far. Other examples of these types of structures have been found in places like Morocco. All of these different basins used to hold different dyes. Once you finish checking out the tannery, you can walk through the walkway underneath that tunnel you went through to get to the museum in order to head to the lake, which we're going to now. When you come to the lake, be on the lookout for the citadel, which is on top of a large plateau. It's not going to show up very well in this clip, but when I turn here to the left, the citadel is behind these small trees. The lake is a really nice, calm spot to end your visit to the National Museum of Egyptian Civilization. And here we are with the lake behind us at the view from up above. Thanks for checking out the National Museum of Egyptian Civilization with me. Again, I'm Gus with Egypt Adventures Travel. I would love to take you to Egypt on your own Egypt adventure, where we create customized and curated travel experiences for adventurers like you. Until next time. Check us out on Instagram or Facebook at Egypt Adventures Travel, or go to www.egyptadventurestravel.com.